Evoked potential. This is the heart of our system.
So hello, Bill. I guess you still remember me. My name is Kiran, and we only met once more than 10 years ago in Budapest when I first came across your ideas and your QXCI, how it was called then, and I was fascinated. I didn't mind that I was waiting in a crowd of people that was waiting for you, or that you let wait for an hour or so until you finally arrived in a woman's nightgown and a glass of beer in your hand, and then started telling your stories about the evoked potential, the Xroid process, and the QXCI, things that people had never heard about. And that was just amazing to know that there is now a technology. You press a button and you know everything about a person. It does 8,000 evaluations in a matter of a few minutes. And it was it was amazing. And the way you presented was, in a way, it was offensive. But this, what I did not understand at that point, you were a master of the DLE to create dynamic labile equilibrium in your audience, and of course in your life also, as everybody knows. And so I know and I honor you for having changed the life of thousands of people. Of course, those who got rich because they were your distributors. Then a lot of people got a lot of confusion because they used your system and didn't really know what to make with all the evaluations. And then, of course, also quite a few people who got healed with the QXCI. And so I honor you for this. And I guess you don't mind if I bring something new to the field. Anyway, you have settled down, you have retired, you are now having your angel shop in your travesty show in Budapest, and you don't care anymore. You made enough money, so I'll honor you for this. And let's hear what you have to talk about the evoked potential, the central idea of your system.
Evoked potential means that we give a stimuli. Evoked potential is a form of biofeedback. We give a stimuli and we measure the response. The first type of evoked potential biofeedback was what we would measure brainwave, alpha, beta, theta, delta waves. And then we would offer a stimuli, and the stimuli chosen that was best was a flashing strobe light. The strobe light then would initiate a response in an alpha wave change that then we would be able to measure the evoked potential of the normal person's evoked potential reaction to strobe light.
So you did your study of biofeedback, and of course, as everybody knows, you never did this. You never did any research. You were the distributor for Bicom in America, and you found out that bioresonance works, and it even works when you unplug the electricity. And so you had the great idea, we can make this cheaper. We can sell the box without anything inside, make a nice software, and then have people buy into a idea of pseudo science. You never really understood what did the changes, and often QXCI helped people, cured people. Mainly it was belief. So you really stuck to this, and you also promoted a belief system based on its working principle being a physical, a scientific principle. So let's hear about the evoked potential a little more.
What we have done with our QXCI is we've taken the different energy factors of the three-dimensional shapes of the different homeopathics, measured with our quantum quality control equipment.
So the three-dimensional shapes of the remedies, that's the key things that your system measures and stores, but you don't say anything about this, how it does this. because really it never happened. I was buying into this ideas when I first heard it, and I brought about 3,000 remedies from Germany to you to have it scanned in this equipment. I was a complete believer to think that there is a scanning mechanism that can scan remedies for some, what you call three-dimensional shape, and then register it in the system.
We've then taken this stimuli, send it into the patient, and we measure the trivektor response, how the patient changes to these things.
So you measure the trivektor response, another word that you invented. And trivektor, of course, trivektor is the Cartesian system of three dimensions. Peter Fraser, he took this up into his idea of electric terrain, three dimensions. Great idea, but how it refers to a remedy, nobody ever told anyone, and actually it's not happening at all, as you know. But let's hear a little more.
And then after we're going to do over 8,000 different compounds, we're going to catalog and remember and tell us which one had the most intense response, what are the top ones, which ones are significant in red, which are somewhat significant in the purple color.
So that's interesting. So you put some stimuli and then you measure something, of course, with the electrodes that the person has to either put around his head or around the wrist. And then the even greater addition to this amazing technology that makes all lab diagnostic looking ridiculously slow and outdated. Now you could test these 8,000 stimuli, which is not only stimuli of biochemicals or electromagnetic or any energy factors, but also emotional factors, all not only by using electrodes, but long distance at the same time. So if somebody couldn't come in, no problem, or automatically, QXCI switches into subspace. Of course, it doesn't even register that there is nobody there, but as you invented another term, trivektor, you also invented another idea of subspace. And I have to honor you for being the inventor of the key term today in medicine, in alternative medicine, which is the quantum field. Now, many people use quantum medicine without even knowing that you were the creator. So I'm honoring you for this idea.
And then the yellow being some small significance, and then the blue being an insignificant reaction in the big scheme. Since we're at about an 85% rate of accuracy, we're going to have to take some of this with a grain of salt. We're going to have a little different system of analysis. We're not operating at that 95% level.
You're a really charismatic talker, and what you say, people just they take, and they don't take it with a grain of salt, as you suggested now. They don't take it with a grain of salt. So everybody knows if you run 2 QXCI sessions, or I mean, this is 5 years ago that you made this talk, and since then it has changed its name twice. It was this SCIO in between, now it's the INDIGO. Of course, because the bad publicity is bad, it's good to get rid of this name change. But anyway, who uses this system knows that if you do 2 scans 5 minutes after one another, there's not 85, not 95% reproducibility. There's no reproducibility at all. So it's interesting. You can make this talk, you can tell this to your audience, and nobody raises the finger. Very, very good. You have a charismatic influence on your audience, for sure.
We have to broaden our ideas. Since we're going to be doing this at around 100th of a second, you can see it's going to take 80 seconds to get through here once. We're going to want to do this a minimum of twice. We want to do it a third time in some cases. So this is why the time of the test is going to be around 2 to 3 minutes for us to be able to go through here and check all these different reactions. The stimuli response of evoked potential. The stimuli is generated by that 8,000 different three-dimensional shapes, where then we're going to measure that same thing in the human body and measure how they react to this. So stimuli response, evoked potential. By going through the matrix once forwards and then backwards and then at a miscellaneous different factor, this is going to be able to tell us the reactivity as we then make a mathematical chart of that reactivity and display it as the Xroid results. Evoked potential. This is the heart of our system.
So, this was 3 minutes of Bill Nelson when he was still actively inventing new ideas and mainly new words, new ways to present old radionics, because this is what it was and that's what it is. It's radionics. It means an empty box assigning certain attributes to a test person and then seeing which remedies match informationally to these attributes. Now, in your system, it was the very beginning. It was a pure software random generator without any reproducibility. But truly, I honor you for having the courage, or better to say, it was not really courage. You were making fun of people and their belief in science, as you do now in your shows in Budapest. You're having fun in your life, and I know this is the key essence that I got from you, the concept of having fun in your life, not being afraid of going against scientific belief systems. And the other thing that I really can say that I learned from you is, I cannot say I learned it from you, but I can say it started my thinking about the concept of randomness being meaningful. I mean, you never disclose to anyone that it's random, your results are random evaluations. You even here told people they have an 85% reproducibility. But anyway, I'll bought your system, not, of course not new, because I couldn't afford this then. I bought it on the internet as a used system. And I found out I was the first to tell the world that really what's happening there in the QXCI is not a testing at all. It's a random number generator, which is today a common knowledge, and a knowledge that is, again, not being questioned. Nobody has asked, but how does randomness give us any meaningful information? But I honor you for starting my thought process in this direction, and I would never put you down because you started something new, where so many people now, they are trying to imitate your ideas without having your charisma, and they try to uphold scientific belief. And those people I will challenge, because I'm trying and I will plant something new. And if you want to plant something new, you have to turn around the soil first. But I know you have a good life now in Budapest. I like Hungary. My friends are there. And I know you made the right choices. So thank you for this.